Have you ever walked by, I guess scrolled by is probably the more appropriate way to say it in this day and age, scrolled by something and not wanted to get involved, had an opinion, had maybe a strong opinion, but thought, you know what, if I'm going to waste my time and energy on this, or if I'm going to get involved in this, it'll turn into a waste of time and energy, and it'll fill me with a lot of negativity, and that's not something I want to do. I asked that because that's something that happened to me today. Just opened up Twitter because I thought, oh, let's see what's going on. And then I stumbled across this thing, and it made me uncomfortable. So I didn't want to say anything about it. I was going to message somebody. I was going to DM somebody, actually. But now I'm just kind of subtweeting them via a little video form that I'm making here. And I guess I'll throw this out. And if anybody sees it and sees the thumbnail and whatever happens to look at this, great. But somebody whose identity I'm concealing, even though it was out there publicly, says in their Twitter bio that basically they're an SJW, and that they, they're mad at Trump. They're pro-immigration, whether that's illegal immigration or not, I don't know. But they have something about camps and the Holocaust and things like that. And basically they're saying America is currently, Hitler, or, Trump is Hitler and America is Nazi Germany, and the, Mexicans are the Mexicans and other Hispanics down at the border are the equivalent of the Jews and, freaks. And I'm using the Nazi term there, the non-desirables who were thrown into concentration camps and murdered as well, because there were 12 million people murdered, roughly, during the Holocaust in the death camps and such. 6 million of them were Jews, 6 million of them were gays, gypsies, invalids, all sorts of other things that the Nazis wanted to clean out in order to strengthen humanity, the Aryan race, etc., etc. All bad stuff, right? I hope we agree on that. I hope we agree that that's all bad. Well, that it's bad for a person to want to murder those people and to use eugenics to purify the quote-unquote race, because, people should be free to live and propagate and, have their lives. You shouldn't come down on them for that. But it was interesting. This person is angry at Bueno, the garage hero, garage pro, whatever, guy. He does this indie tokusatsu thing. I don't know what else he does. Apparently he designs props. And I don't know what else. He has a movie, which doesn't look very good to me. And I found about him back in the bad old days on HJU, Henshin Justice Unlimited, when it was a big podcast and forums. And I don't know what's going on. I don't gravitate over there. Anyway, but yeah, I ran into Garage Pro there, and I thought it was trash. And it didn't look like, it looked like it wasn't, my tokusatsu, my brand of tokusatsu. I'm also, if you want to call me conservative, that's fine, but I'm religious, and I have standards and ethics and things I don't want to be involved in. I'll level with you real quick. I'm really tempted to watch the Evil Dead TV show because I loved those movies and I love Bruce Campbell. Fortunately for me, he's on Burn Notice, which is a basically acceptable show. But I don't, I stopped watching horror because it felt wrong to be enjoying the gore and the violence and blood. And, sometimes, there's, naked women getting chopped up and stuff like that. And that kind of gross and just felt like something I didn't want to be a part of. And, you saw the thumbnail here. Bueno's in bed with a Henshin hero mask on with a lady in there, topless and stuff. And that doesn't appeal to me. A topless woman does, but she's at home and I married her, and she's not constantly topless. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I get being attracted to beautiful women, or being attracted to people's bodies and stuff. That's natural, that's human and everything. But the guy just doesn't seem like my kind of guy. Anyway, I say all that to say this, that somebody is angry with Bueno for something he said or did or whatever. I honestly really don't care. As long as he didn't harm another person physically, he can kind of do whatever the hell he wants, right? It's a free country, even though he's in Japan. But that brings me to my next point. This person who's so anti mistreatment of, illegal immigrants or people who are in another country with or without proper documentation, toyed with, joked about reporting Bueno to the Japanese immigration officials and trying to get him deported. And the thumbnail on this episode is what makes a villain. I believe that attacking and condemning someone for their actions is perfectly acceptable. I believe that speaking negatively about a person is perfectly acceptable. It may not be a good thing for you or for them in the long run. Well, if you don't like them, then your intention is to harm them, but it may also harm you. It may harm your soul, your mind, whatever you want to call it. And the religious tradition I adhere to speaks pretty strongly about Loshin Hora and how it's not good to speak evil against people. And it's a very finicky thing, I think. It's very tough in this world to not speak negatively about people. But this individual who was recalling the Holocaust and concentration camps and the oppression of these people by the Nazi regime, also, that's in their bio of their Twitter account, also said in reaction to Bueno's nastiness, which I agree is nasty, there are nasty people on both sides, that they want him, they're toying with the idea of trying to get him deported from Japan, the country he has chosen to live in. I find that disgusting. I find that reprehensible. I find that villainous behavior to try to interfere so drastically in someone's life that you would try to get them kicked out, especially when you are trying to, or you are in support of stopping other people from freely moving from one country to another. Now you want to abuse and use the long arm of the state to kick someone out of a country because you don't like some opinions they have? My friend, you, I think, need to rethink your life. You need to reassess yourself and maybe do some soul searching and figure out what principles you stand for and what principles you want to be consistent on. Because I think you're fooling yourself if you think you're living up to the ideals of the Tokusatsu heroes. I don't think Kamen Rider would try to get the guy expelled from the country. That's all I have to say. MJMunoz.com is home for all my work. Podcasts and reviews of anime, Tokusatsu, Star Wars, and more. Plus my original writings. If you didn't enjoy this, critique me. If you did, leave me a comment. If you really like this, consider tipping me at coffee.com/MJMunoz. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, be well.